Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Now, I don't imagine today's video is going to come as much as of a surprise to anybody, and I'm pretty sure every other reactor on YouTube is probably doing exactly the same thing at the moment, but we're going to look at the new track that was released by Metallica, a track called Lux Æterna. Now, I have some very mixed feelings about Metallica. Like, in the beginning, in the early days, like Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All, Master of Puppets, Justice for All, they are fantastic albums. The Black Album was a good album. Load was okay. Reload, and they've just sort of really declined since. That being said, Hardwired to Self-Destruct was kind of okay. Death Magnetic I didn't like at all. Saint Anger, we don't even talk about that one. And I'm sure there's probably another one floating around there somewhere that I'm forgetting. But anyway, you know, one of the major things I miss about Metallica is in the early days, in like the Ride the Lightning, Justice for All sort of era, they had a very specific guitar tone. And, you know, you could hear that guitar tone and you'd go, that's Metallica. You would know instantly. But once they got to the Black Album, they lost that guitar tone, and everything since then has just been, So, you know, now I used to really like Metallica. You know, I would play the living hell out of Ride the Lightning. I absolutely love the Ride the Lightning album. It's fantastic. And don't get me wrong, I love Master of Puppets and Justice for All, but for some reason, Ride the Lightning has always been my favourite. Don't know why. But anyway. Now, I imagine most people watching this video know who Metallica are, so I didn't bother doing any research to explain who they are, but they are a band I don't think I've ever actually covered on this channel before. You know, I've covered the likes of Megadeth and things like that, but I don't think I've ever actually done Metallica. So yeah, like I said, they released a new track a couple of days ago called Lux Æterna, and that's what we're going to look at today. I have lyrics here. They come from directly underneath the video on YouTube, so I imagine they should be accurate. So we'll jump into the track, see what we've got, and yeah, see what the new Metallica track is like. So let's just jump into this. Lux Æterna by Metallica. Let's have a look. there we go. Lux Æterna by Metallica. And I must say, quite impressed by that track. It feels a lot thrashier than a lot of their music has in recent years. You know, they've in more recent albums like Death Magnetic and Hardwired, they seem to be more just heavy metal. You know, and they were pretty much the leading name in thrash metal back in like the 80s and 90s. You know, someone said thrash metal, people thought Metallica, and that was that. And they seem to have sort of fallen off the thrash metal sort of train for quite a while, in my opinion. Although saying that, in Hardwired they were sort of coming back towards that. But this feels a lot more thrashy than they have been in quite some time, in my opinion. Now there was actually a couple of riffs in there that reminded me very much of Megadeth tracks. And I mean, I'm talking possibly, I think it might have been somewhere on Dystopia, I think it was. You know, there were a couple of riffs in there that reminded me a lot of a few riffs from Megadeth's Dystopia. And obviously, it's well known that there is, you know, somewhat of a history, shall we say, between the two bands. And, you know, they've not exactly been subtle in taking Dave Mustaine's ideas in much earlier albums, such as Kill 'Em All. Or as I like to say, Mustaine wrote 'em all. Now, the actual title of the track, Lux Æterna, the actual term Lux Æterna refers to communion. It's the communion antiphon, which is like a repeated chant for the Roman Catholic Requiem Mass. There we go. That's what Lux Æterna is. Now, the actual meaning of the track, I can't really decipher much to it, because there seems to be pieces that just don't seem to fit together necessarily. You know, it goes, anticipation in domination, a sea of hearts beat as one unified, magnification, all generations, approaching thunder, awaiting the light, full speed or nothing, full speed or nothing. Then it goes into the chorus, Lux Æterna. And he repeats Lux Æterna twice. So not a very imaginative chorus, I must say, but it's the way he presents that part of the chorus. You know, I was going to say, you know, the way Metallica's music has been of late, I think James's voice just hasn't been as strong. But he went and proved me wrong when he came out with belting out that Lux Æterna for the chorus. But I still stand by that. You know, I don't think he puts as much effort into... Well, there's not as much power into his vocals as there used to be as well. But, you know, what do you expect? I mean, he's pushing on a bit these days. But anyway, like I said, I can't really make any connections here, because anticipation in domination, a sea of hearts beat as one unified, magnification, all generations, approaching thunder, awaiting the light. Now that just sounds like, you know, a sea of hearts beat as one unified. So this is a collective of people coming together. Approaching thunder, awaiting the lights. Again, that sounds like there's a storm coming, but they're in search of hope and sort of thing. But then it comes out with full speed or nothing. I have no idea. And then it did that chorus, Lux Æterna. Then it goes, exhilaration, frenzied sensation, kindred alliance connected inside, commiseration, sonic salvation, cast out the demons that strangle your life. Excuse me. So again, cast out the demons that strangle your life. That sort of goes along with the earlier line, approaching thunder, awaiting the light. You know, that's fighting through tough times, looking for the goodness and, you know, the better part on the other side of that, you know, pushing forward to... And then it goes back to that full speed or nothing, Lux Æterna. Lux Æterna. And then he does Lux Æterna for a third time. And I had a little chuckle there because for some reason James Hetfield has become synonymous with the word yeah. and we heard it a couple of times in here. It's something that seems to have become more and more prevalent in their music in the later years. Like, you listen to, again, the earlier albums, it's not so much, but as he sort of progressed on, it's sort of become more of a sort of staple. You know, it becomes sort of a joke in and of itself, but I mean, it doesn't detract from the songs or anything. It's just one of these funny little things that just sort of happens. Anyway, it carries on. Emancipation, kill isolation, never alone for the feeling alike. Amplification, lighting the nation, never alive more than right here tonight. So, never alone for the feelings alike. So again, this is a whole bunch. This is like a collective of people who all have the same emotional investment in something. All these people that share the same opinion, sort of thing. Never alive more than right here tonight. So, you know, this is like the peak. This is the best moment. You know, nothing can get better than this. You know, you'll never feel more alive than you do right now. Then it goes full speed or nothing, full speed or nothing, Lux Æterna, Lux Æterna, and then right at the end he says, light it. Light what exactly? Not sure. But yeah, I liked this track, and it's been a while since I've said that about Metallica. You know, I have listened to things like Death Magnetic, and I have listened to Hardwired. I've probably listened to Hardwired more than most of their other more recent, you know, more than their other recent things like Death Magnetic, and I'm sure there's one I'm forgetting. I can't remember, but I've listened to Death Magnetic a few times, and it was an okay album. But this far exceeds anything that I've heard from them in the last few albums. Like I said, it sounds a lot more thrashy, a lot heavier. He seems to be putting more effort into his vocal performance in this track. Like I said, you know, belting out that chorus the way he did. But I do still miss that Metallica guitar tone. You know, there was just that guitar tone that, like I said at the beginning, you could tell immediately upon hearing it. You'd be, that's Metallica, and I miss that because it was a really nice guitar sound. It was brilliant. But yeah, I quite like that. I'm quite impressed by that. So yeah. But there we go. I don't really know what else I can say on that, so I'm just going to have to leave that as that is. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving it a like, maybe even subscribe if you're not subscribed, because it really would help me out. And yeah, thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.